God said to the woman, to Eve, I will surely multiply your pain in childbearing. In pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be your husband, for your husband, and he shall rule over you. Now this verse is spoken after Adam and Eve had sinned against God. So after they had disobeyed God, God came down and gave them a series of curses. Curses to man, to woman, to the serpent, and to planet Earth. Right? So that is what we are reading. This is part of the curse that God has given because of sin. And so part of the curse is that when you bear forth your children, you do so in great pain. That painful childbearing is a reminder that we have sinned against God. It's part of the curse. As much as painful childbearing is a curse, the next line is also a curse. It's not a blessing. Your desire shall be for your husband. Now, people read this and say, oh, such a blessing. I will love my husband. Wrong. Because this is a curse, not a blessing. So what does this verse actually mean? The original, now in the English it's not easy. In the Hebrew it's also not very clear. Just reading it by itself is not easy to decipher. However, there's a simple principle that we use for understanding Bible, and that is comparing Scripture with Scripture. So there is an equivalent line, a similar line, one chapter down. It's the only other time this phrase occurs, and it is very illuminating, very helpful to understand that verse, and then you come back, you understand what this means. In Genesis 4, verse 7, it says, to Cain, who is sinning against God, Cain, if you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must rule over it. So God is saying, sin is like a predator. Sin is like a beast, an animal that is waiting to pounce on you, to get over you, to dominate you. So its desire is for you. It's not that it wants to serve you. Its desire is for you means it wants to dominate you. It wants to control you. Cain, don't you know that? It's right there. It's waiting to pounce on you. So if you think about it, it's the same here. Your desire is to pounce on your husband. You don't like to be ruled over. You want to wrest control. Now, therefore, women, you are good at, God has given you a wonderful ability to take care of kids, you control everything. But then this tendency, when misapplied to your marital relationship, can be very dangerous, because now it begins the battle of the sexes. Man is supposed to rule, but the woman says, I want to rule over him. And that's why I think it is so difficult for you. Some of you say, I will do it if only my husband shapes up. I will do it if he's more responsible. I will do it if he does 50% of our household chores. And then I'll submit to him. But right now I'm doing 90%, he's doing 10%. How can I submit to him? I call the shots. Why should I submit to him? Actually, the Bible is very clear. The Bible doesn't tell us to submit to our own husbands when he is good, or when he's kind, or when he's capable, or when he's responsible. The Bible does not say in anywhere that you submit only when your husband deserves it. The Bible simply says, wife, respect your husband, full stop. You see, so often, I hear this so often. Pastor, I cannot submit to him because he has not done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you tell him to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I will submit. Because to me, it's not fair. This is the idea we are raised up with. We feel that we treat one another based on how others have treated us. We want this to be equal. We want this to be reciprocal. But I'm afraid in the Bible it has no place to Christian obedience. That's why the Bible is given. If you act on that level, you're like anybody else. But the Bible calls us to a higher level of ethics. We deal with people not based on what they've done to us. Remember the golden rule in the Bible? What's the golden rule? Do unto others what you want them to do to you. In other words, it has nothing to do whether they have actually done it or they will do it. Nothing. It is based on what you wish they will do to you, you do it to them, even if they have never done it for you. Because that's the way Jesus loved you. Unconditionally. Wives, you respect your husband not because he is kind and good and capable. You do it because this is God's will. This is His word for you. It's unconditional. That is the higher level of ethics that the gospel calls us to. We do it because we love God. You say, why? How can I submit to Him? Well, you submit to your husband because you are filled with the love of God in Jesus Christ. You are doing this because you love God.